Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very different haul for you. Today I have a drugstore haul, and I know this is the first one that I've done for you guys, and I have had several requests for a drugstore haul. And I have mentioned once or twice that the reason I don't buy a whole lot of drugstore makeup is because one, I can't test it out in the store, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be crazy about the shade, about the type of consistency. And then the second reason is because a lot of times I end up not really liking the product and taking it back. And so I really hate taking a product back once it's been open, once it's been used. But that's what really ends up happening with drugstore because I just can't test it out in the store. But there's been a lot of really great releases lately at the drugstore, and so I really did have to pick up quite a few things, and so I wanted to share them with you now that everybody else is putting up their drugstore hauls as well. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this. On a lot of these products, I already have kind of a review for you because I have been using it for the past few days. So let's just go ahead and get started. I have quite a few Wet n Wild products, and I think a lot of people are buying a lot of Wet n Wild right now because they've released several things that are brand new, and just because of the price range, a lot of people like to purchase Wet n Wild. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the first thing, and this thing is something I found very exciting, and I have been using it for a few days, and I'm just going to already tell you that I love it, and it's the Wet n Wild Megaglow Highlighting Powder in the shade Precious Petals. It looks like this, and I want to say this one was $5, but a lot of times my grocery store will do like a coupon where if you buy 2 products you get $1 off or get $1.50 off, or anyways, so they did have a coupon for this, and so that made it an even better deal. But like I said, I have already been using this. This is the lighter of the two. There were 2 of them. This one's more like the peachier shade. There was one that was a little bit of a darker gold shade. It comes with like a flower kind of embossed into it right there. I thought that it came with an overspray, but that shimmer has kind of stayed, so I don't think it was an overspray since I've been using it for a few days now. So let me give you a swatch, and I will already say that I like this just as much as some of the high-end highlighters that I have, and it was $5. So this one was a total hit for me. I really did like it. So I'm happy to say that this one was a success. Moving on to a few more Wet n Wild products. One of them is the Megaglow Contouring Palette, and this one is in the shade Dulce de Leche, but I don't know if they have other shades in this because this is the only one I saw, and the reason I wanted to pick this one up was because I watched Makeup by Ali's video. I want to say it was her favorites of 2016. She mentioned this. She really liked it because this contour shade was a cool shade, and those are the shades that I like. So also have been using this, and I really do like it. It's what I used to contour today, and I don't contour very often just because a lot of times I don't have the time. A lot of times it ends up looking muddy because I don't have the time to also do the translucent powder, you know, to kind of really define it. But this one has really been nice. It's very soft, and this highlighting powder is really great. I can use it to set my under eyes, and I can also use it to sculpt out that perfect that sculpt if I get messy. So here is what the contour shade looks like. So it is a cool toned, and I really like it. The powder is so soft, and this compact was only $3.99. So honestly, you're not going to find much better than that at the on a high end. So that's what they look like right down here, because I've also got that highlight up here. So you've got the contour shade and you've got the highlight shade. I love it because when contour shades are a little too strong, again, I find it just hard to work with, and it's something I would rather forego and just not have to mess with. But for $4, this was a total hit as well. Moving on to the next Wet n Wild product. This is also part of that Megaglow line, and it's the Illuminating palette. I just purchased this at Walmart today, and I've only swatched it, so I have not had a chance to use it. It's in the shade Catwalk Pink. It looks like this, and on the back it says 4 illuminating shades that can be worn alone or mixed together, instantly provides skin with an iridescent shimmer, and then it's easily blendable. So let me open it up and I'll tell you what my thoughts were when I swatched it. So it's, as you can see, like the back said, there are 4 shades. They range from pinky and gold all the way down to your lighter, like a baby pink, and then almost like a white kind of shimmer shade. champagne, I guess you could say. So I swatched them individually and was not super amazed. However, the rosy shade had really good pigmentation, so I'm thinking I'm going to swirl it together and use it kind of like a luminizing blush. I'm just not certain yet, but let me give you shades of each one. I think it looked so shimmery in the pan before I opened it. Once I started swatching it, that shimmer went away, so I'm thinking that is kind of an overspray, which is disappointing to me. But here is what each shade looks like individually. See how that pink really stands out? So I'm thinking I'm going to get a lot of luminosity by swirling all of them, so I think it'll work out. This one was only $4.99 as well, so not a whole lot lost if it's not, you know, right up my alley, but I think I can make it work. But that's what that one looks like. Let me see. This one, I have swatched it, but I have not used it yet. It is the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Contour, and it looks like this. The only shade available was Cafe Au Slay, and so I am hoping it's not too dark for me. I did get this one at Walgreens, but it was, I want to say, like $5 as well. So let me see if I can, oh, I have had, so when I first bought it, and then just now, because obviously sometimes I don't think things through, I try to open it like a flip up, and it's an unscrew, in case you do happen to pick this up. Don't do what I did. Anyways, so it unscrews, it's got the little poof, which I won't end up using, and then it's got the little pull open thingy. And so it looks pretty dark. The only thing is, because it is a cream slash liquidy product, I think I can make it work by blending it out. Grab my paper towel before I get mess on everything. Like I said, so it's $5. It wasn't anything outrageous. And again, if it doesn't work out, it's not too big of a deal. But again, I think I can, this is what it looks like. I think I can kind of shear it out. Yeah, it's definitely, you can definitely shear this thing out. So there's what it looks like right there. Paper towel out of my way. So see how that looks kind of dark, but I'm going to try and blend it a little bit, and it blends really, really nicely. So see how that blended out? Yeah, I think this will work out. I'm really excited to use this one. I was so excited to use that other one that I forgot that I had purchased this one. But I'm excited to try this one out and see what it's going to be like. Now this little cap is hard to put back. However, I think when you screw the top down, I think it kind of sets it back into place. So let me, yeah, it makes it kind of hard to screw this thing back in, but I think that pushes it down. So the last of the Wet n Wild products that I purchased, I'm not sure how I feel about them. And again, this is the reason why it's harder for me to really take the plunge on drugstore makeup. I know it's a lot cheaper than, say, for example, Sephora or Ulta. The thing about that is I know if I'm not crazy about it, I can always return it or exchange it for something else. And it's more, I get, maybe it's all in my head, I feel like it's more likely to work. But I know that's not always the case. Now, I did pick up 3 of the, actually picked up 4, I just don't know where the other one is, of the new Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit Liquid Lipsticks. Now, I will say a couple of them I'm not crazy about, and a couple of them are pretty decent. The ones I'm not super excited about are Coral Corruption, and I got the peach one. It has peach in the name, and I can't remember, it's probably in my purse. And it's very nude. I just don't feel like those last a long time. They're very, very thin, so I have to apply like 3 or 4 coats. Now the 2 that I will say are pretty decent are Berry Recognize and Pink Really Hard. And that's what these look like right here. And then of course this is Coral Corruption right here. So let me give you quick swatches. Coral Corruption, I think because it's so, as far as on my skin tone, it just ends up kind of blending into my lip color, which is kind of weird because I thought the coral would really stand out, and it doesn't. And that peach one, the same thing. It's just very, very thin. I just am not super wowed by it. But for a liquid lipstick, if you find the shade that is the consistency that you like, then it's a good deal because they're only $5. Right, so here we go. you have got, oh, let's see, okay, Coral Corruption, Berry Recognize, and Pink Really Hard. So that's what those look like. So they have a decent amount of pigmentation. So the last two, Berry Recognize and Pink Really Hard, those were pretty decent. I was not unhappy with those, and I will put those to good use. The other two, I could live without. So kind of neither here nor there with those. The next 3 lip products that I purchased one at my grocery store and one at Walmart. One of them I'm wearing right now, and I am absolutely loving these. So for the last few days, couple weeks even, I have had major chapped lips because of the weather, and I've got like a cut right here. So liquid lipsticks have been really harsh on my lips the past few days, and so these have been such a lifesaver. And they are the Maybelline Baby Lips, which I've never really been crazy about the Baby Lips line, but these are the crayons, and they have them in several different shades. And I was blown away with how much pigmentation they have. Now, obviously, they're not going to be a long-lasting lip product as far as the color. I find that they're very, very moisturizing, and they last a decent amount of time for being kind of more of a balmy type thing. This one is in the shade Strawberry Pop, and it smells like strawberries. It smells so good. This one is in the shade Toasted Taupe. And like I said, it's the one I'm wearing right now. So let me give you a couple swatches. These are not very expensive at all. At Walmart, they're $5.50, which is actually really nice. I find that drugstore makeup is really going up in price, and that's another reason why, like, I don't want to bite the bullet to buy a foundation or something, because I'm not in the mood to be testing out, taking home a foundation shade. Oh, it doesn't work out. I need to go exchange it for another one. Excuse me, that kind of thing. And so I just don't even bother. And then, it's almost like they start at $13 or $14 and go up to like $18, and I just don't feel like I want to go through all that mess to find my perfect shade. I can kind of guess which one, but if I'm not crazy about, maybe it oxidizes, that kind of thing, I don't feel like dealing with all that. Anyway, so I thought $5.50 was really good, a really good price for these. There you have the Strawberry Pop, and then the Toasted Taupe, which again is the one I'm wearing right now, and it is so soft, it's so comfortable. Obviously it's supposed to be moisturizing, and it's doing just that while giving me a little bit of color, which is really nice. I feel like I bought quite a few Maybelline items. Okay, the next item is one of their Master Strobing liquids. This one is in the lightest shade, which is 100 Light, and then they had a couple others. I think they had medium and they had deep, which I've told y'all I am all about that, because it's not fair to different skin tones for there only to be like a light shade or a universal shade that may only fit light. So if you're interested in these, there are different shade ranges. So again, I picked up the light one. Now I find the consistency to kind of be along the Cover FX Custom Enhancing Drops. And when I first started applying, I was like, wow, this is a dupe for the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. It's actually not. It does, once you finish putting it on, it's not anywhere near metallic. It almost dulls down a little bit, but I have been using it as a base for my powder highlight. So I've put on just a little bit right here. And let's go ahead and that's what that looks like. So it's pretty decent. I mean, for being drugstore, it's not bad at all. And again, once you kind of get it to where you need it to be, it dulls down just a little bit, and it's not super, super metallic, but it provides the base that I need. So I'm not unhappy with it. I thought it was pretty decent. And I want to say it was probably like $8, but again, there was a coupon for like $1.50 off. So I was like, okay, I'll take it. The next Maybelline product is the, and this might not be a new product, but it is the Superstay Better Skin Powder. And it is skin transforming powder with salicylic acid. I don't even know what that says. Comedogenic. I'm not sure what that means exactly, I'm sorry. But I bought mine in the shade 20 Classic Ivory. I find that Ivory is a little too light, and I can't tell if this one might be a little too dark. And so that's what I mean as far as drugstore shades and trying to find the right one. But anyways, I've been using this to set my under eyes. And it's actually pretty nice. I think one of these days I'm really going to try it as an all-over foundation instead of using... I don't like to set my face, if I'm wearing liquid foundation, I don't like to set my whole face with powder because on me it ends up looking too cakey. So I'm just either going to use one or the other, and I don't really end up using... I don't even own anymore any powder foundations. I used to use own the MAC Pro Longwear Powder Compact, and I just use all liquid now. But this is what it looks like. It's got the mirror right here, and then it's got the little poofy, which I never use because they freak me out. But this is what the powder looks like right there. It's very, very soft to the touch, so that makes it nice. I use a brush to set my under eyes with this. There is the powder right there. Let's see if it will appear. I don't know if it will, but it's right there. And it does smooth out very nicely. It's because it's soft. I like how it just smooths out on the skin and kind of just makes everything appear smoother and just nicer, I guess you could say. Like I said, once I apply it to my whole face, then we will see what that really, really looks like. But I like that it's real sleek and compact, especially like, for example, for traveling or throwing in your purse or something. This is really good. So I got that, and I think this one was probably $8.99, but again, I had a $1.50 off coupon, so I used that, of course. This I have not used yet, but I want to go back to trying some drugstore mascaras because I never used to use high-end mascara. To me, that's a waste of money when you can find something along the lines of mascara that works just as good or better at a drugstore price. So I used to always use the Maybelline Give Me Lash with the little pink rubber bristles. That was my go-to time after time after time. For whatever reason, I don't know if they changed up the formula, it started crumbling into my contact lenses, and then, you know, it's the most awkward thing to be in a meeting at work and then you're like, I'm so sorry, I have something in my contact lens. So it's uncomfortable, it's awkward, it's embarrassing, so I'm like, I'm moving on from this mascara. But I have heard really good things about this one. This is the Colossal Big Shot by Maybelline. And I want to give Maybelline mascaras another try. If it does end up working out, I am going to probably do like a battle of the mascaras to include drugstore and high-end. Again, to me, it's a complete waste of money to have to buy high-end mascara when you can find one that works just as well at the drugstore. So more to come on this. Just a couple of... Drop something. Just a couple things left. I purchased the Maybelline Prime and Smooth Master Prime Long Lasting Eyeshadow Base, and I got it in 410 Prime and Smooth. There were a couple others, I think like color correcting, and then there was one more. So I got Prime and Smooth, and so I have been using it for a few days now, actually I have been using it all week. Today is Saturday and I have been using it since Monday. So it comes in a little tube like this. And it's I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, it looks shimmery in the bottle. If that'll focus. So it looks shimmery in the bottle. When I took it out, I was like, okay, I think that'll be a pretty base. Sometimes though, when they're this shimmery, they just don't grab onto the eyeshadow. So it has a doe foot applicator like this. And when I started using it, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out because it's very, very thin. I don't know how else to describe it. It's thin and it's very slippery when you try and spread it out across your eyelids. That's what it looks like right there. So you can tell that shimmer is there because it looks kind of metallic when I move my hand. So I'm just going to tell you, this was the biggest surprise ever because every single day that I have worn this, my eyeshadow has not creased. My eyeshadow has lasted all day long without fading, without creasing. I am just so impressed with this. It was the biggest surprise of all because I really thought, based on that consistency, that it was going to fade by the end of the day, and it didn't. So I want to say this was probably like $6 maybe. Maybe it was $7. I think it was $6. Anyways, absolutely worth it. Very, very impressed. If this holds up, if this keeps going at this rate, I will switch to this primer and stop buying high-end primers altogether. So very, very impressed with this. Like I said, There were a couple others, and now that I know I really like this one, I'm kind of wanting to try the others. The bad thing about drugstore makeup when it's new is that once it kind of sells out on those new displays, it's hard to find it until they bring it out permanently. But I might try to hunt those down because this was very, very impressive. I have one last item for you, and it is a Maybelline lipstick. Now, again, I don't really buy a whole lot of drugstore lipsticks because they end up, after 2 hours or so, they're gone. And I just think it's a waste of money, a waste of space to be buying lipsticks that aren't going to last a whole long time, that I'm just kind of like, you know. But Maybelline released a few new shades in their line, nude shades, and then they released a whole lot of bold colors in satin and matte finishes, like really rich purples and things like that. But I had seen the review, I've told you all before about Temptalia. She is the most amazing beauty blogger. I guess she's called a blogger. Anyways, her website will, once she reviews something, that stays on her website, and you can go in and find out the description, how long it wore, if it, you know, settled into fine lines, and that's just for lipsticks. Obviously, she reviews everything else as well. Anyways, this review, she put it up, I want to say either Thursday or Friday, and it's for the shade Almond Rose. It's a matte, and it's by Maybelline, and it got a very high score. I want to say it got like an A or A minus, which for a product to get an A from her, it means it's really good. And so it says, she said that it wore on her for about 4 to 5 hours, and it was pretty comfortable, and she said it was very pigmented. So to me, that's like, okay, I need to probably try out that lipstick because it's probably pretty good. And so there was one left at my Walmart, and I have not worn it because I just purchased it today, but I can already tell you by the swatch that it looks beautiful. I'm really, really happy that I picked it up. Again, it's in the shade Almond Rose, and it is a matte. So hopefully that will wear nicely. I didn't pick up any other shades just because, one, I haven't read her review on them, and two, I want to see how this one holds up before, again, I start amassing a lot of drugstore lipsticks after previously not being too thrilled with them. So that's what that looks like right there. All right, guys, so that completes my drugstore haul. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know it was not as much as sometimes I do haul, but quite a bit of product there, and I hope that some of those kind of brief reviews help you out if you're wanting to pick some of this stuff up as well. All right, guys, before I let you go, I need to give you the verse of the day, and today comes from Psalm 91, verse 1, and it says, "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty." Guys, I hope this gives you inspiration. I hope you find encouragement in this verse. Again, I've told y'all, if you're in need of encouragement or uplifting, just read the Bible. That's the best way to get encouragement. Drawing close to God is the best way to find peace. All right, guys, well, I will see you in the next video. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you're looking to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Michelle's Glamour, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.